No, Stephen, I gotta look out for number one. And he hangs up and he says to Rhonda, Rhonda, do not let any of the Spielberg's calls come through to me. Just say I'm busy. Then he goes out to that press conference. He says, I've been taking advice from the military, and we have imposed martial law in California. Their cops just got too damn corrupt. And we're assigning each state a county to take care of, to send real cops to California. And yes, we've got all those documentaries of California's corrupt cops, and there will be a Senate investigation. A lot of corrupt California cowardly cops. This New Year's Eve, after being kept up all night last night by, yes, corrupt California cop, a cowardly cop. Harassment techniques. Remember to put those, every cop in California on the back of a fight. If they don't know what a Flight 93 check is, you can ask them, are you involved, are you incompetent? I can show you Crest Complex links with YouTubes with Flight 93 check after Flight 93 check after Flight 93 check. Are you involved, are you incompetent? Me asking America for Flight 93 checks of their lifelines, and not one in 9 years. Are you involved? Are you incompetent? Why are you conducting harassment techniques here at T Terrace? If they pass the buck to the feds, get names and yeah, remember to post. So Henry and Winona are giving their information to the detective in this California police a room, and the detective says, well, don't worry about it. Often this happens. They pose as cops. And, yeah, shake down tourists. Actually physically robbed them. But, yeah, I'm sure it was just a imposter. And then Winona says, oh, that's him right there. That's him right there, detective. They turn around, and yes, it's Officer Jacob. Those Chinese bitches on hand, about to get their lapdogs, the Chinese asshole cops, in trouble. Welcome to hell, guys. You've earned a lot. Hear those sirens. Check your posting 5 424-229-4140. Make a video of America's HIGHJACK lifelines. And yeah. Go to meltonprints.blogspot.com or youtube.com/DNFD series. Look for the links. Print out those big files. Hand them out. With the numbers of corrupt California cops on the backs of them. As well as Microsoft, City of Santa Monica. Over the Adventist cult as well. Hand them out and tell all of America to ask California's pretty cops about their active participation in America's HIGHJACK lifelines. Post whatever they say. If they don't know what a 93 check, a Flight 93 check is, tell them to go to presscomplexlinks.blogspot.com. See YouTube's full of 93 checks over the years, and not one gotten yet. Ask them, are they involved or are they incompetent? Post. California's cowardly cops are taking credit for Enrique Vergara and Vanilla screaming at me that they want more character of California's corrupt cowardly cops parables, and they want all of America to screaming at me that they want all of America to put the names and the numbers of every California cop. Not one has talked to me about those 93 checks. You ask them, what do you know about this? When else will my family's lifeline not be allowed to work? because of what you are taking home. What you are, Daddy's home behind the scenes with the reference that got me off. Taking you to the woodshed with truth. That's what Daddy's doing. What do you know about this? If they don't know what a 93 check is, direct them to those Flight 93 checks on www.christcomplexlinks.blogspot.com. Then get their reaction post. Tony has just zipped up. He's a California cowardly crooked cop, corrupt cop. And he says to the terrified Sarah in the bed, don't bother calling the cops, I am the cops. I'm Melton, I'm waiting on a elevator, and here's how you can. It's not been working past 20 minutes. I'm waiting to go down and get groceries here at Teague Terrace, where cowardly, corrupt California cops are conducting those hatred techniques, harassment techniques. So, check and post info via phone. All good cops across America put California's crooked cops on the numbers on the back of those phones. They change the numbers, you get new ones. Why can't we reach John Milton Brady for 9 years in your state? Are you involved or are you incompetent? California crooked cops, cowardly crooked cops, terrorists. I'm in a wheelchair. There's a fire, I'm not getting out. Put the numbers on the backs of every 5 you can print out across America. Call up every corrupt California crooked cop, to a man, to a woman. Find out why they are conducting terrorism against the rest of America. You can't reach me. I have no idea when else your phone won't be allowed to work. Check and post info via speakerphone with them. Remember, when you hear that siren, check and post in fire. 424-229-4140. And all good cops across America who've been watching for years and years. California's crooked cops drag their names through the mud. You put the names of those crooked cops on the back. So, these files you can find at meltonfriends.blogspot.com. That's the quickest link. YouTube.com/DNFD series will take you to a Flickr and to a Google Drive. Print them out. For the 1,000 crimes they're committing out here, hiding behind a badge, doing the exact opposite of what you and they took oaths to do. You call them on that one, you can have all of America calling them on. 424-229-4140. Make that video, post that video. Whatever you get when you don't get me, John Milton Brady. I've been asking for 9 years. For that first 93 check, ask him, are you involved, are you incompetent? A Jeffrey, a corrupt, cowardly California cop, is one of many mercilessly beating someone they pulled over. And don't worry, they've checked for citizens making videos of them with their phones, and the videos made with the cop cars, they can be altered very easily and have to be often to cover up the corruption of the California law enforcement, to a man, to a woman. Call them up. That's what someone does for Jeffrey, either while he's beating the man or at his home. Ask, what do you know about this? John Milton Brady not getting a Flight 93 check in 9 years of asking, are you involved? Are you incompetent? Direct them to christcomplexlinks.blogspot.com if they don't know what a Flight 93 check is. Get the reaction and post. Rick is showing Vanna the ropes. Rick just got a promotion to managing a whole lot of apartment complexes in LA, and Vanna is the new manager of where he started from, and he's showing her the work that where he used to work at, and showing her how to do that work. And they've just hi, Officer so-and-so. Oh, yes, we know you got very important business. This, that, the other. It's Jerry, and they let him in. It's a gated thing, and Jerry goes on in, and then Rick takes Vanna into the control room, as he calls it, and got all kinds of cameras, and yeah, they're doing the, I've heard it described as pornos, and yeah, Jerry takes off that uniform and yeah, embarrasses males everywhere with size and technique. But Rick says, yes, this is how we run the video portion of our work here. He goes on at all the apartment complexes I now manage, and yeah, we catch them with their pants down for any kind of use that we might need those cameras, those videos for. Oh, I should tell you, Rick has a kind of a funny, made-up sounding voice to match his arrogance. And so, yeah, if this gets out and you figure out, I've changed the names to protect the innocent, or the guilty. This gets out, it's the dirty blue line getting its just desserts, because in the real world, when you can't reach me by phone, 424-229-4140, and I've been asking for 9 years, in the real world, that's California's crooked, cowardly cops being caught with the character down, or their pants down, one or both. So you hand out those numbers of crooked California cowardly cops, and make sure you hand out any numbers of bizarre folks actively taking part in America's hijacked lifelines and teaching others how to do that too. I swear, if you heard the guy, you'd swear it's dead on. But as I wait here, and they're conducting terrorism. They've broken the elevator, and I called up the manager, and she doesn't know when it's going to be fixed. She says she's on her way, and she just told me last week it takes an hour and a half to get here. And that was the selling point of this place as a handicapped place. Got an incredibly good elevator. And the last time, the old manager, they just changed managers here. The old manager came out and he said that somebody just put a garbage can in the way of the door. That doesn't explain, this is a weekend, this is a Saturday. On Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, they've got that security guard there to do that difficult work of removing a garbage can. It's beeping. You can hear the elevator, the ka-ching, the sound, as they make a lot of money. I'm not doing their jobs because that's a very dirty walkway. It's unhygienic. LA city streets outside are cleaner than that walkway. And certainly the character of those who run is get the investors, Solari Industries, enterprises, and put their numbers on the backs of those pipes I showed you earlier, so that you can check and post. Well, you know about this man, not yet. How do you reach him by phone? I've been asking for 9 years, not one. Check out youtube.com/DNFD series. I got plenty of call logs there. Tell America how to check and post in 5, and all good cops across America. You know the crooked California cowardly cops character better than a lot of folks, huh? So you put their numbers, interrupt their pornos being made at in my fiction, in Rick's apartment complexes all across LA. Interrupt them with a little truth. And ask them, what do you know about this man not getting one 93 check in 9 years of asking? Oh, go ahead and ask the very real management and supervisors of many different apartment complexes in LA what they know oh, the new one made sure I saw a cop in the management office there, which is very unfriendly to folks in wheelchairs. Made sure I saw it. They're being antagonistic as hell. You need to call them on that. Same is true as with California's crooked cops. And remember, guys, for those crooked cops, I'll get back to my fiction. When you use that first job of yours to get that second job, remember that the second job often ends a certain way on the streets in the unseen business. And it may cost you that first job, and you get plenty of work with one use. You can figure out, you know, my means, Son of Poetry, Mary, Fire and Brimstone Parables, our Stone Cold Military Pitbull Project Fiction. Back to the real stuff. Remember to check in post and 5. I'll show you the handsome bald guy. In front of Solari Industries, showing the characters, Solari Enterprises, whatever the hell it is. Get the names and numbers of them, call them up. What do you know about this? All crooked cops, they don't know what, none of these folks know what a Flight 93 check. You tell them to check ChristComplexLinks.blogspot.com. You can find out where to print out my this stuff. 4x6 prints, what you see on my chest. And you can also go to YouTube after YouTube of 93 checks, Flight 93 checks. Call right now. With the old number from older years before 94, I went in the hospital, lost my old number, 0911 number at the end. Now it's 424-229-4140. So ask them, are you involved or are you incompetent when you don't know this? And that's occurring in your state. Check in post in 5, come see me. Let's get started building a better world. Tear down this great wall of evil around me that is taunting up a storm with California crooked cops, cowardly character, and let's get started building a better world. Those 1,000 points of light to inspire the future and present greatness with. Terry is a terrified California resident, a victim of the thugs in uniforms to a man, to a woman. We have in California as law enforcement. Some of you have met them as you've tried to come to see me with their impersonators of John Milton Brady. Melton. Stone Cold Melton, one and only. Others have seen their character well as tourists that you won't be tourists again because of. Terry is a victim of that, not outright rape, although it depends on semantics, doesn't it? Because he's misusing his authority. Tony is. He is raping her, yes. He's a cowardly California cop. He's showing that character. You need to call them on their character. All good cops. Terry has done something. He's made a phone video. A phone audio even will work, Terry. And she knows a cop in a different state who is getting the truth about California's corrupt, cowardly cops out to the country. And he is also putting these things out, these big fives, with every cop in California's home number, cell phone number. For those who have the desk jobs, their desk numbers. We're tired of California's corrupt, cowardly cops. We want change. So Terry made a video of him intimidating her to get what he wanted from her. I mean, I'm here in the Immaculate Apartment, the best place I've ever lived in, and I'm calmly and patiently waiting for someone to tear down the Great Wall of Evil. Has just me and all of my imagery. California's corrupt, crooked, cowardly cops are part of holding back Jesus' immaculate house here on earth. Come tear down this wall, and let's get started on those 1,000 points of light to inspire the future and the present to greatness with. You can call it an opportunity house if you want. You're not into Jesus, that's okay. For now. There will be a test at the end. But we can all agree on cleaning up California's cowardly, crooked cops. Here's how to do that. You make that video of you calling them up, to a man, to a woman. What do you know about John Milton Brady's request for Flight 93 checks for 9 years and not getting one, as you were a part of placing Hussein in our White House to stain our democracy? Placing someone with a religious Muslim name in the highest office in the world right after we got attacked by a whole lot of angry, violent, deadly Hussein. It's sending a message worldwide. We the people must send a message as well. Checking posting 5 and numbers you haven't shown before. And yes, if you want to check if you show up on my caller ID, my call on call records, you go to youtube.com/DNFD series. And yeah, just on Thanksgiving I spent alone because of the Great Wall of Evil. I made a video of the past year and a half of my call records. You're making a video of 2 crimes. It's going to be something boring, a phone ringing, error message, busy signal. You can explain this to the crooked cops that you keep calling left and right until we got changed out here in California, and a domino effect across America. When you call me, you get that boring thing, that phone ringing, that error message, that busy signal. You get to leave a message. I don't get it. You don't show up on my caller ID. It's not going to be boring if you and your children, your family is in a burning building, and you want that fire engine. And yes, it's your Gates livelihood. Next time you're calling up countless other customers, you get that boring thing. Explain that to Officer so-and-so. Make sure you ask him, what do you know about this? If he doesn't know or she doesn't know what a Flight 93 check is, you direct them to ChristComplexLinks.blogspot.com. It's got all, or many of my YouTubes I've used over the years that have time and time again, Flight 93 check, Flight 93 check. Check America's Lifelines right now, and not one in 9 years of asking. You can't do that in a state without complete cooperation by the corrupt law enforcement there. The corrupt officials as well should call up those mayors, those governors, those county folks, those state folks, and get their reaction to you not reaching this America. Post it. And yeah, good cops across America, you come out, document that California crooked cop character with your stings. And yeah, your phone's a sting equipment, because we got a lot of corruption out here, and you might run out of those wires and little cameras, fancy little cameras they got in that room there. Come out here and you get them showing their character left and right. You let them know America is watching. It doesn't matter that they can play someone named Hussein, the highest office in the world. We're going to have our 9/11 Flight 93 get-togethers. Big screen TV, 9/11 footage on one side. The other big screen TV over on the other, a few feet away. Oh, the buffoon Trump now. He's comic relief after Hussein. The buffoon Trump waving the Russian flag in our White House. And in between, excuse me, in between you got everyone at your party, at church, at work, at school. One calling up Crooked Cops California. 2 trying to call me. As part of that, even, you get 2 or 3 phones going with the speaker phones and the videos. And yeah, call up that network news station, that local news station, any and all in the public eye. Mayors, governors, get the senators, the phone numbers, the network news anchors, local news anchors numbers as well. Call them up. What are you doing about this? Get them on record. So when they don't cover something that affects every man, woman, child in America, our hijacked lifelines, much worse than Watergate, guys. Phonegate is what gets the firemen, the police, paramedics. You got that on video. The CBS, the NBC network news anchor, not knowing why they don't cover blatant censorship of America's lifelines. Now, 193 check, use FedEx, UPS, any private carrier, 4260 Eagle Rock Boulevard, apartment 409, Los Angeles, California, 90065. Melton, John Milton Brady's full name. Make that video, of that FedEx, UPS, any private carrier. Make that video of that mail before you send it, it's going to be stolen. And yeah, call California's corrupt, cowardly, crooked cops who aren't just taking part and holding back Jesus' immaculate house. They're doing a whole lot of stuff. Terry can attest to that. Terry's made a nice Geraldo video of that. Semper Fi, aim high, fly high, win. This we will defend America from California's crooked, cowardly cops who currently have my elevator not working. This is the 4th floor. Enrique Vergara, I'll put his number up high on those numbers to call, as well as Vania, she's changed her name a few times. Just had to call the emergency number to get them to get the elevator to work so I can go get food. Ask them, what do you know about this? When else will my phone not be allowed to work because of what you at Teague Terrace are actively taking part in? What you in California, as crooked California cops, are taking part in. Get their reactions and post. Come see me in person. We'll travel. Look for the man with the imagery on his chest. Oh, I take it off when I go in Target. They had, that's where I'm headed to get some milk and other groceries for goo. I take it off because in downtown LA they requested I take my imagery off. But other than that, look for me putting it on when I come out of Target, and tell me what you think of Jesus' immaculate house being hijacked. The world being hijacked, and California's corrupt, cowardly cops a part of that. Check and post and 5, come see me. Hand out those files by the truckload, guys. Tell you, all good cops. Tell the folks in your cities, your communities, your state, to call up California's crooked cops to make the place safer out here. It's a nice tourist destination. You want it to be safe for your tourists. So you want to expose California's cowardly cops' character. Do that with a simple Flight 93 check and post and 5. Oh, you don't have to do the Geraldo thing as long as you got that speakerphone on. They will assume you are. Check and post and 5. Tell them we want to know what you're doing when you're not with those cars with the cameras that record your actions left and right and can be fixed. We want to know what you're doing at home. You don't mind disturbing Stone Cold Melton at home with his elevator not working, being terrified that if there's a fire he won't be able to get out. It's a very reliable elevator. If it's not working, and it sounded from the sound down below, somebody placed as a had, or at least that's what I was told, placed a garbage can in between the door so it wouldn't close. It doesn't explain why the security guard here isn't fixing it. It's harassment techniques, a part of, other than what Tony does with the ladies. It's what corrupt, cowardly, crooked cops are doing here in Eagle Rock. Check and post and 5 in numbers unheard of. We the people must be the reporter. We have to take America back. Yeah. Our country, the world depends on us for that. Do that. Alonzo stops to answer his phone. He's expecting a call from an ATM. He's a corrupt, cowardly California cop actively taking part in harassment techniques, not just this stuff, high-tech toy stuff, but breaking elevators here at Teague Terrace. And he's actively a part, as every corrupt California cowardly cop in California is. Alonzo is actively a part of America's hijacked lifelines. I've been asking for 93 checks for 9 years. That's what they ask him on the phone there. As they check and post via speakerphone. Here's his cell phone. What do you know about this? When else will my phone not be allowed to work because of what you're doing? And he gets angry. And yeah, he had a tourist. He was shaking down for cash, and he thought she looked quite nice, so he's raping her, and she's screaming for help in the background. Joey is a corrupt California cowardly cop. And he's answered the phone. He says, "Oh, come on, this is the third time you've called. You're interrupting my family get-together. It's my child's birthday party. I've changed my number twice now. I don't know who keeps giving you this number, but I don't like to be disturbed at my home." And Jack on the other end tells Joey, "Well, neither does Stone Cold. He doesn't like being disturbed at his home with, you know what to put in. Something. Assholes, I'll say it, from the Latter-day Center Church with high-tech toys. He doesn't like that. So we're going to keep calling you until that's stopped. And we don't like our family's lifeline being hijacked. We'll probably keep calling you afterwards until we know our families are safe." "Donald, where are you going?" "I'm going to get a Charles. It's his phone, and they want to talk to him about Stone Cold." And he said, "Which one of our impersonators?" "No, the real one. They want to ask about those 93 checks." "I gotta go get him." He puts the receiver down at the center of the table. And Eric says, "Well, we got to get to business. We can't wait on those two." "The ATM on the corner of 5th and Main, who's getting that one? What about this ATM there and there?" You'd be surprised at the things you can overhear when you check in Post and 5 with California's cowardly, corrupt cops. "You don't mind disturbing me at my home in the immaculate apartment here, calmly pacing and waiting, so we're going to disturb you at your home, and we all know your home's built on corruption." Jake just barges in unannounced, and he says to Charles, "Hey Charles, we need the chief. We got that big ATM group assembled, and we need you to strong-arm them. They've been slacking up on their law enforcement deposits lately." And Charles just looks around at all those cops from all different states and cities across America. He's hosting a luncheon or something, and he says, "I'll be there as soon as I can." Yeah, call up Charles, both at home and at work, and ask, "What do you know about John Melton Brady not getting Flight 93 taking 9 years of asking if he knows something about that?" Maybe he's legitimate. If not, then he's strong-arming, chances are. Brain is an angry shrew brunette, married to a corrupt California cowardly cop. Take your pick. State troopers, county, cities, doesn't matter. And she asked her husband, "What are you doing about that guy in Eagle Rock?" And she bitches for a while about that. And then she says, "Are you going to show up?" It's something she saw today. "Are you going to show up in those apartment sex tapes? Yeah, this one's, that one's, the other one's come into this place. And Eagle Rock and other places where they got impersonators of me and do the porno thing." Jake and Post and 5, and yes, this is what breaking the elevator here got the corrupt California cops today. Melton, John Melton Brady, son of a carpenter Mary. Daddy carpenter worked on skyscrapers, Mom Mary Ann. I'm a son of carpenter Mary. I get to make parables. There's one about Tommy and my Saul. And a lot of these are inspired, let's say just brought about by the devil's people and the corrupt California cowardly cops breaking the elevator here. So I can't go out and get food. It's supposed to be raining Monday, Tuesday, that kind of thing. Find all these little links telling you how to check and post a fight with California's corrupt cops. If they're honest, they're not going to have a problem with you demonstrating America's hijack lifelines to them via speakerphone. They sure don't mind disturbing me at my home here, calmly pacing, waiting for attractive blonde and near blonde girls to tear down a great wall of evil so we can get started building a better world. Check and post in 5 in front of them via speakerphone. You see a helicopter checking posted 5, 424-229-4140. Make a video of America's hijacked lifeline. Post it. Remember to call up California's cowardly corrupt cops. Take a bit. Put the numbers on the backs of those 5s and ask them what you know about this if they don't know what a Flight 93 check of your lifeline, of America's lifeline, is. All across America, guys, not just California. Yeah, they're involved or they're incompetent. Post. Oh, firemen are a good way to find out about corrupt, cowardly cops and those 1,000 crimes they commit hiding behind a badge that you're never going to hear about. Call corrupt, cowardly California cops on the crime you can point out. 424-229-4140. What do you know about John Melton, Brady Melton, Stone Cold Melton, son of Carter Mary, asking for 93 checks for 9 years in your state? If they don't know what a 93 check is, direct them to ChristComplexLinks.blogspot.com. That one up there. And this is also, those links are where you can print out these big 5s. Tell everyone you hand them to. Call up California's crooked cops. They're dragging down America's law enforcement. They're endangering us with their active participation in America's hijacked lifeline. Check and post in 5 via speakerphone with them. The corrupt California cowardly cops just buzzed this apartment complex, Teague Terrace, precisely before the African Muslim Mormon apartment down below turned on some hatred noise to annoy me. They have been active in participation with, in coordination with the Latter-day Saints and the entire damn state of Utah. For a long time now. I've been asking for 93 checks for 9 years. I've yet to get one. So as Jennifer, yes, works in the telemarketing industry, something nice, not the annoying folks. She had her dinner interrupted by the Latter-day Saints, the LDS. They're proud of that title, the Mormons. So as she sat back to dinner with her children and her husband, she said, I'm going to do it. Cops of this state, Massachusetts, you know where Boston is. They gave me the numbers, and they gave me updated numbers of Microsoft, City of Santa Monica, Latter-day Saints, most prestigious temples, fraud of a faith temples, the wolves among the sheep, the thorn in the side of Christianity, the Mormons and Latter-day Saints. Also, the Adventist cult nearby is an active participant in religious censorship. But Jennifer tells me how, tells her husband, how they give her the numbers. They will get her the new numbers when they change the numbers, because so many folks are calling and checking and posting at 5 with every corrupt member of California's law enforcement. And that's every one of them. I haven't heard from any of them about those 93 checks in the 9 years I've been asking. I have seen their waves and waves of impersonators with the damn Mormons, among others, in and around me wherever I move in California here. Yes, 6 blocks east of the tallest thing in LA, the Good Samaritan, the Convalescent Hospital from Hell, Linwood, Hatewood, Weingart Center, where I started out and where I came to the immaculate apartment here just last year. Always the damn Mormons around, and California's corrupt, cowardly cops showing their active participation with that. So I got a nice parable. I'm going to return to this idea again and again whenever you see fraudulent religion. The wolves among the sheep, including, of course, the main ones in America, the Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, and the Adventist cults, both of them. But we all know the missionaries knock on the doors. She's reminded to call up California's crooked cops to a man, to a woman, ask them what they know about Melton's hijacked lifeline, America's hijacked lifeline, her family's hijacked lifeline. If they don't know what a Flight 93 check is, Jennifer, direct them to ChristComplexLinks.blogspot.com, that site right there, and say that that's full of YouTubes. It's also where you can print out a lot of this imagery. Those YouTubes he's been asking, call me right now, for 9 years, and has yet to get 193 check. No certified, no non-certified mail, no FedEx, no UPS. There's the address, current address right down there. 4260 Eagle Rock Boulevard, apartment 409, Los Angeles, California, 90065. She calls up every cop she can in California and asks them what their very active part in America's Hijack Lifeline is. Yes, they're Hollywood cops out here. They're what gives us the Mideast PR campaign and many TV shows like NCIS. Oh, I like the show, but it's still got a Middle East Osama PR campaign going. Hollywood placed dangerous part of Hollywood with connections to the Mideast placed someone named Hussein in the highest office in the world right after we got attacked by a whole lot of angry, violent, deadly Husseins. That's dangerous as hell. All the choices they had. You can't reach me to tell me who I should vote for or what I should vote for. You can't reach voter registration links at vote-truth.blogspot.com. That's dangerous as hell. They've imposed the Mideast here. We need to do something about that. We need to take the legs out of Hollywood's Middle East Osama PR campaign. You call them up. You ask them. If they don't know what that is, you direct them to here. And you ask them, are you involved or are you incompetent? This man's been asking for 9 years for a Flight 93 check of America's Lifelines. What's your very active part in that? To a man, to a woman. California's troopers, county, city. Checking post and 5 in front of them. And that's what Jennifer would do, and that's what everyone who is annoyed by the Mormons, the Latter-day Saints, as annoying as that noise is out there. And that's the Mormons, the spectrum next door. There are no decibel kind of requirements here in California. It's active participation on those who enforce that kind of thing. California's corrupt law enforcement. Yes, it is right next to an apartment complex. And yes, they can turn that noise off when they're backing up in their yard, their lot. Jennifer's going to call. You should call when, even if you're not a telemarketer, when you have those damn Mormons interrupt your dinner. Wolves among the sheep. You remember when that Rich Romney guy was part of the sham elections as they placed Hussein in our White House, don't you? So you be reminded. And good folks, military folks, addressing those Husseins abroad, address them here with that Middle East, Hollywood, and corrupt cops of California to a man, to a woman. Participation. You hand out the numbers to good, concerned Americans all across America. Good, true believers. You hand them out, and then you hand out the new numbers when they change them. Because they don't like truth calling them up. They don't like being disturbed at their homes when they're disturbing me at my home with that noise, hatred noise next door that shouldn't be. That hatred noise downstairs from the African Muslim place that shouldn't be. They don't like disturbing your peace of mind, Jennifer. That's your children's lifeline, your family's lifeline. That California crooked cops are an active part of hijacking. Ask him, what do you know about this? That's occurring in your state. John Melton Brady, Melton, asking for 93 checks for over 9 years and not getting one. What's your very active part in that? Get their reaction and post. And if they don't know what the hell a Flight 93 check is, that's the best kind of Flight 93 check and post there is. It's California's cops being corrupt as hell, being incompetent as hell, being involved as hell. You take your pick. So every time you hear hatred noise, or every time you see hatred knocking on your door, that would be the Mormons, the Latter-day Saints. You check and post in 5, and you wallpaper your neighborhood with a Mormon one, telling everyone how to check and post in 5. The Mormons, the Adventist cult, the LDS Mormon cult, the Microsoft has no trouble reaching me by phone. The City of Santa Monica has no trouble reaching me by phone. They are either involved or incompetent. Good folks aren't going to have a problem with you checking your family's lifeline in front of them and it not working all the time. So you check and post in 5, and those who get angry have a story to tell. They're going to be the best check and post videos. Do that. And yeah, whenever those Mormons knock, you remember Stone Cold Melton, one and only, John Melton Brady. Son of a carpenter, Mary, daddy carpenter, worked on skyscrapers, mom, Mary Ann. I'm the son of a carpenter, Mary, I get to make parables. You remember me telling you how to protect America from the threat from within. You make a video of California's corrupt, cowardly cops. Their active participation in America's hijacked lifeline. Get their numbers, call their numbers. Microsoft as well, all those others. And ask them, what's your personal part in this? What do you know about that? And let them incriminate themselves with what they say. Aim high, fly fight, win semper fidelis. This we will defend. Defend America from California's cowardly, corrupt cops. Do it with a video of truth. Jesus' house, immaculate house, built on truth. Any good priest or nun will tell you that. So make that first video of truth, put that first brick in. Come tell me in person. When you experience that Hussein religious censorship in America, come tell me in person what those places need to inspire the future and the present to greatness with. When you see someone besides me in my changing eyes and this imagery I've been showing you, we started to build. Oh, I changed my shirt out twice a day with my sugar checks. When you see someone other than me in my changing eyes here, we started building. Be a part of that today. And remember to wallpaper your city. Drive the Mormons out. Get them to mark you off their sales route. Because they are a thorn in the side of the true believers. We need to point that out. Several cowardly, corrupt cops are on a street sidewalk. As Melton, Stone Cold, Melton one and only, goes past. He overhears that conversation as they exchange or show each other videos of what they refer to as bitches. This one puts up a fight. Here's her address. Go check her out. Yeah, I remember everything corrupt, cowardly cops have ever said in front of me or near me. Call them up as a whole for those 1,000 crimes they commit behind the badge dishonoring law enforcement. And check and post in 5 in front of them. Why is your hatred of America and American lifelines so much? Post. Mr. Charles walks in and he says, Wendell, you can't watch that at work. What is that? And Wendell explains it's not his doing, being broadcast on his computer. He's got a desk job with the cops, corrupt, cowardly California cops. And he says it's the pornos and conquest videos of California's corrupt cops that are being broadcast to us to let us know that they're being broadcast across the country to show our character. And oh look, someone put in a 5 at the back at the end telling them to call up and document. If they don't know what a Flight 93 check is, they're incompetent or involved. Do that, guys. Steve, a corrupt, cowardly California cop, is showing Jerry, a rookie, around this first day of his job, and he's invited him over to his house, and he says, oh, have you had your fill of being a public servant? Come on downstairs. I got a way to relieve your tension. Do what I do. And they go downstairs, and he takes out his nightstick, and he tells Jerry to take out his nightstick too, and there's this guy chained to a radiator down there, and Yeah, they just beat the shit out of him. And, you know, later on they're upstairs having a drink or doing some drugs. All cowardly, crooked cops in California have drug problems. And he said, what do you do if, you know, you kill him? Well, that's what the crawl space is for. Stan is marking off time on the wall in the basement, and Jessica is the new one down in the basement. They call it a nightstick practice. Those folks, they put in their basements the California crooked, cowardly cops who you can demonstrate their malfeasance, their crimes by calling them up. Put their numbers on the backs of those files, 424-229-4140. Try to call me, Melton, and ask, what is this? Why can't I reach this man by phone? He's in your state. Are you actively involved in it? Now, there was a theme for the day, so that's reflected in Stan telling Jessica, yeah, it's that time of the month. Barbara's going to come down here and beat the shit out of us. When she's bleeding, we're going to bleed. Yes, that was the theme both at the store across the street and the doctor's office. A corrupt, cowardly California cop is in her basement attending to Jessica. She's putting a makeshift splint on her left leg, and Jessica's screaming it hurts a lot, the bone's sticking through. And she says, why can't you take me to the hospital? Yes, she's chained to the radiator. And Barbara says, well, I can't do that. They'd ask all kinds of pesky questions. Yes, she's her stress reliever in the basement, and another guy there as well. And she tells Jessica, Barbara does, about this snotty blonde, and she gave her a fake speeding ticket. She was going, 20 miles less than she said she was. And, yeah, she's going to have to put a splint on that other leg, too. Oh, that's her stress reliever. And, yeah, Google Chrome placed this on, so you're getting it courtesy of them. So Steve and Jerry, two corrupt California cowardly cops, have just pulled over a couple of tourists to Shakedown. And as they're talking to them, yes, they parked up in front. And as they're talking to him, one of them says, hey, is somebody in your trunk? It's jumping up and down on that sudden. And Steve pulls Jerry aside. He says, I think they're not going to give us any trouble. Turn the car around so it's facing us. Yeah, they don't want to worry about anything getting caught on those police surveillance videos. Then they have to alter. Yeah, I've uninstalled. It's finally showing up what I can uninstall here. I'm waiting for it to uninstall. It's Google who brought this set of corrupt California cops, and the very real put the numbers on the backs of the five so you can check a posted 5 with them. Barbara's in the drugstore checking out, and the clerk picks up this lotion she had got for some dry skin, and the clerk says, does this really work? And Barbara just goes hog wild. She starts yelling and screaming, yes, it works, but she must put it on. And she'd better put it on if she doesn't want the hose. And then she finishes paying and walks out with her lotion. Everybody's kind of watching her walk out. So this is brought to you, this Barbara series of stuff, because Google Chrome and Google placed Web Discover, that SH kind of stuff up there. Come see me in person. Tell me what you think of Google being part of America's HIGHJACK Lifelines, or Barbara. So Jerry, a rookie California corrupt cowardly cop, stops by his partner at Steve's house on their day off. And there's something new. He says, what's that? It's a trailer with kind of a backhoe bulldozer thing on the trailer. And, Jerry's truck up front. And Steve's truck up front, and Steve says, "What? My crawl space is full. And that desert is hot. I'm not going to be out there all day with a shovel. Oh, you want to go downtown and pick up another? My old one's broke. I'm melting some Carpenter. Yes, Google brought you this set of corrupt California cops. Remember to put their numbers on the backs of the files for the very real stuff. You check and post and phone on the video speakerphone. California's cowardly rapists, murderers. How often do you hear about them gunning down an unarmed man or woman? Call them on their active participation in your child's hijack lifeline. Good cops across America, you put their numbers. This is them right here. Not allowing me to post my Tommy parables. That's not the worst crime they commit. Call them on their active cowardice, hiding behind a badge. They're dishonoring you guys, all good citizens, not much less good cops across America. You put the cowards' numbers right here, and you tell your citizens to call them up and document their active participation, the kind of stuff that can place Hussein in our White House to stain our democracy. Corrupt, cowardly cop has left the guy in his basement alone, and the phone's ringing down there in the basement, and the corrupt, cowardly cop's off film, writing fake tickets to tourists and shaking them down for money, as those they're playing, paving the way for. The Chinese assholes are here doing this, being obvious as hell. And he hears that phone ring, he pulls it over, and he answers it. He can just barely reach the cord, pulls the cord, then he answers the phone, and he says, hello, help, help. And Marlene on the other end says, you son of a bitch, where's my damn alimony? And yeah, she's not going to let him get off that radiator until she gets some videos for the divorce proceedings. Check and post in 5-424-229-410. The video of America's Hijacked Lifeline's cops part in it. California's crooked. Larry should have known there was going to be trouble when Stan, the corrupt, cowardly California cop, pulled him over, because Stan pulled up in front of him. You know, with the cop camera facing away from him. He should have known, but he thought he was just going to shake him down for money. And he knows better now. He's chained to a radiator in that cop's basement, and he's getting the shit beat out of him daily, because it's a stress reliever for a lot of corrupt California cops. That and taking part in the very real world. In America's Hijacked Lifeline's calling him up to a man, to a woman, and asking, what do you know about this? John Melton Brady not getting 193 check in 9 years. If they don't know what a Flight 93 check of America's Lifeline is, you direct them to ChristComplexLinks.blogspot.com. And the YouTube's full of 93 check videos there. I'd ask them, are you involved? Are you incompetent? Get their reaction and post. So Randall, a crooked, cowardly California cop, to a man, to a woman, is raping a tourist when his phone rings. And he thought it was an ATM calling to say they had money for him. Instead, it is one of good cops across America calling to call California's crooked, cowardly cops on their active participation in America's Hijacked Lifelines. And he gets so damn frustrated, yelling and screaming, making a good chicken post video, as well as the screaming of the lady he is raping. He zips up that little embarrassment to mankind and runs his sorry little ass out of that hotel room, shitting and pissing all over the place. And that good cop from another state gets a nice example of what should not be dishonoring a badge. Check and post in 5, guys. Come see me in person. To get the computer to work. And it still doesn't work. That's the Chinese assholes. Let's see if this one works. How about that? taunting on person the corrupt, cowardly California cops, paving the way for them to be here. One, acknowledge California's crooked, cowardly cops shitting their pants over the truth about them, reaching the ears of the rest of America and us. And also, the cowardly Chinese assholes here on hand, worried about me uploading my Tommy parables. Put those numbers on the backs of fives. The Microsoft folks and the corrupt, cowardly California cops. Call them up. If they don't know what a Christ Complex links is, they don't know what one is, we will put every one of YouTube's employees listed on there too as well. Remember, when you see a vapor trail, Flight 93, check and post and 5, and hand out those big fives with Microsoft's numbers on the back, with corrupt California cowardly cops on the back, a whole bunch of other folks. Gina got a hold of one of those fives and one of those phones. They're handing out phones so everyone on college campuses across America can check and post and 5 via a speakerphone. Oh, it can be cheap or not so cheap phones. Anyway, she calls up one of the cowardly California cops. Not only do they have the number, they got the names of ex-wives and all that. And she says, she gets under his skin, would Beatrice approve of your taking part in America's HIGHJACK Lifeline? Gets him angry and makes for a very truthful check and post in 5 video. Uploads of my Tommies to youtube.com/dhbts. I have to. This set in particular was butchered as I uploaded it to DNFD series by the corrupt, cowardly California cops and the computer geeks and Chinese assholes they're constantly running cover for. Remember, guys, like Larry should have known, as that cop pulled up in front of him instead of behind him. So the California cop car camera was pointing the opposite direction. Oh, I got some, I'm not sure what finish means. I got some audios mixed in there with it. He should have known that, he's not taking them to the station. He's got to be that recreational stuff down in the basement of that, Stan, the corrupt, cowardly California cop. You got a good one? Put it to video. Ralph is a college student from another state other than California, and he's had some bad experience. He likes to drive his nice sports car really fast, so he knows that adds 20 miles to any of those radar guns they've got, and he's handing out on his college campus and others both phone numbers and phones to call with. Why phones to call with? Like numbers of California corrupt, cowardly cops. Those are my Tommy's 1st, June, July, May. I got 5 months to go on Daddy's Home BTS. Why that? Because some are going to be reluctant to use their own phones. So it's perfectly safe. You got the good cops in your neck of the woods to protect you. Because you see about those unarmed men being shot down in California left and right, don't you? As he hands out the phones and the numbers, some already on the phones, or some just as list, he hands out to a bunch of college students in his state. Will explains as they watch a video in front of them. This is from Rebecca. She was being repeatedly raped by a California cowardly crooked cop. And she left this after she committed suicide. She had made a video of that. And she couldn't turn anywhere because of California's corruption, from the bottom to the top of their law enforcement agencies. So you call these California crooked cops on the for the 1,000 crimes they get away with by hiding behind the badge as those cowards. You call them on this one, 424-229-414. What do they know about John Milton Brady not receiving a 193 check in 9 years? If they don't know what that is, ChristComplexLinks.blogspot.com. Good. Park behind. You want to see that. If they park up front, you know, that camera pointed in the opposite direction, that's when you got to worry about it. It's good to know I've got the support of good cops. The check and post in 5. The good cops aren't going to have a problem with you demonstrating America's hijacked lifelines to them. Bad ones going to get angry. They're going to have a story to tell. They're going to make the best check and post in 5. Good cops across America hand out Californias. Crooked, cowardly, California. I haven't heard one walk up to me and tell me they're not crooked and cowardly. I haven't heard one comment about these 93 checks or put their numbers on the backs of these files so you can check and post in 5 via them. Via the speakerphone in front of them. How's that? Claudia is talking to Ray about her husband Adam, a corrupt California cowardly cop. And Claudia says, you got to tell me, Ray, who is this Terry? He keeps calling out her name in the middle of sleep. He's having an affair, isn't he? And Ray says, well, Terry is your husband's new partner. He's a he, not a she. And so Claudia calls up the Military Pitbull Project and says, that number you wanted for the representative of the Military Pitbull Project, his private cell phone, I'll give it to you. Call up crooked California cops and check and post in 5 in front of them. John speaks to the camera and many assemble. We are the Military Pitbull Project. We are not just all branches of the military. We are all good cops across America addressing the threat that is pit bulls to our society, our world. And you can't get more pit bull than California's corrupt, cowardly cops. Hand out these files in your state, in your city, in your neighborhood, with the numbers of California's crooked cops. If they don't know what a Flight 93 check is, you tell your citizens when you call them up, you direct them to ChristComplexLinks.blogspot.com. With years and years, 9 years of 93 checks from MELTON, son of Dr. Mary, and you ask them, are you involved or incompetent? You get their reaction, you post. Your phone not working in front of them. There's links to youtube.com/DNFD series. If you missed last night, I forgot. I got busy. And you got 2 sets here today, and man, have I been seeing my demon sister, personal knife in the back from Louisiana for decades and decades. That hatred around here with the California corrupt, cowardly cops. And the hatred noise they're conducting it right now. Thumping through the floor of the apartment here. When you hear hatred noise wherever you are, let it be a reminder to call up California's crooked California cops, to a man, to a woman, asking what do you know about John Milton Brady not receiving 193 check in 9 years of asking. When else will my family's lifeline not be working because of what you're taking part in very actively? Get the reaction and post. They don't know what a 93 check is. ChristComplexLinks.blogspot.com. Direct them to that in YouTube's and years. And are you involved or are you incompetent? City need an image that will put it on the map. I'm Melton, son of a carpenter, married. Dad a carpenter, worked on skyscrapers, Mom Marianne. I'm the son of a carpenter, married. I get to tell parables. And I also get to design beautiful graphic art. I'm a censored graphic artist. That means I'm not making any money from it. And that means when you call me up, 424-229-4140, make that video of whatever you get when you don't get me, post it. And yes, you can call up what I've been talking a lot about, because I've seen so much over the top a lorry, personal knife in the back, hatred lately. Call me up and yes, ask California's crooked cops and officials what they know about your lifeline not working when you try to call me. Get their reactions and post. Come see me in person. Cowardly computer geeks. I don't like. Yeah, our active participants, they don't like the new default description. Because they didn't like my Tommies, it means Chinese assholes on hand. Being pathetic, being embarrassed, and they can't be embarrassed. Checking Post 5 via speakerphone with every member of YouTube. What's your active part in this? He's been asking for 9 years for a 93 check. You didn't think that was something that you should be broadcasting? What's your very active part in this? You in bed with those corrupt California cowardly cops? Yes, a whole lot more corrupt California cowardly cops. From yesterday in hatred techniques conducted here at the Terrace and Solari Enterprises stuff. Check and post in 5 and put the numbers of Solari Enterprises folks as well as corrupt cowardly California cops to a man to a woman. Oh, they get called Bruce by those real perps and stuff. I'm just the guy telling truth. Ask him, when else in my family's lifeline not be allowed to work if they don't know what a they don't know what a Flight 93 check is. My neurons are all tied up. I'm growing a new body. They don't know what a Flight 93 check is. You direct them to ChristComplexLinks.blogspot.com and ask them, are you involved or incompetent? There's 9 years of them there. All crooked, cowardly California cops worried about your ATM money drying out because the one and only MELTON, Stone Cold MELTON, son of a Carpenter Mary, is talking about your corruption left and right. Simple concept. As long as there is hatred coming from down below, and as long as Chinese assholes, this is the 5th damn thing I've had to reform. Because Chinese assholes are worried about one damn man working alone. As you put on your sissy bulletproof vest and go to the bathroom as one and shake down tourists for money, realize until you clean up the Chinese assholes in Eagle Rock around me, you're going to get more of those. Connie, a reporter, is doing a politically correct interview with Barbara, a cop, a California cop. And afterwards, she asked, so what do you know about MELTON not getting one of those Flight 93 checks in 9 years of asking? And Barbara says, well, I can't say anything about that. And Connie says, well, only reason, it's off the record, the only reason I ask is every time I hear from a reporter in another state, they're always asking about Stone Cold MELTON, son of a Carpenter Mary, and those Flight 93 checks. It's not like anybody's going to cover the easily documented fact that America's lifelines are hijacked, and that loosens Barbara up, and as she spills her guts, and then later, the county takes that audio maker out of her pocket, her phone. She's going to have it just in case. So Al is telling the cops who showed up what we told him, the man who lives here, that we needed to dig in the backyard for electric or power or something, water or something. We had to do that, and so funny thing, he ran in there, he started loading up his car. I've never seen anybody pack so quick. He took off, and then of course we started digging, and that's when we found the bodies. Yes, call every California crooked cops responsible for those in here not letting my photoscape to work today, and ask, what is your part in America's hijacked lifelines? Because if your phone's not allowed to work when you try to call me, MELTON, 424-229-4140, And you don't know when else it won't be allowed to work. You're the ones buried in California's corrupt, cowardly cops' backyards. Semper Fi. So a plumber is telling another plumber about this cop. He did some work for it, and he said, I told him, of course I can run the pipes on the outside of the house. It's California, you don't have to worry about freezing. But it'd be so much easier to put it through the crawl space. But he didn't want to do it that way. I'm Melton, son of Clark Mary, 424-229-4140. I've been asking for 93 checks for 9 years. I've yet to get one. When you call up any one of California's crooked, cowardly, corrupt cops of California, to a man, to a woman, I haven't heard from one of them about these 93 checks. They are either involved or incompetent when they can't, they don't know what one is. And you got to wonder what else they are involved in. Jerry works for the bank. He's got the bank president, and he's proudly showing off his new invention. See, they used to have the corrupt California cowardly cops come into the bank and hit them up for their ATM money. But now they just give them a debit card, and they just go in, hit the ATM, and yeah, of course all the ones in line there know exactly what they're doing, the corrupt California cowardly cops. And they'll often say, well, better go over to the next ATM, this one's going to be fresh out. I'm Melton, son of Clark Mary. Print out these files with the big, from meltonprints.blogspot.com, print out these files from here and put the numbers of corrupt California cops, call them up, ask them what do you know about John Melton Brady not receiving a 93 check in 9 years? Yeah, they've stopped my uploads. So the exterminator is at Adam's house. Adam is a corrupt California cowardly cop. And he's just been spraying his bedroom. And he came across the bed, the mattress, and big bills, stacks of bills pouring out of it. And Adam comes out of the bathroom. He's on his way to work. He says, oh, yeah, I've been hitting those ATMs a lot lately, and I haven't been able to make a deposit into my bank account. And just then the phone rings, and Adam says to the exterminator, hey, if that's my ex-wife, tell her that she and her alimony can go to hell. And don't take any of that gas. I'm a cop. I'll hunt you down, and you know what? You'll end up in that crawl space. And yes, the exterminator answers the phone to do that, and it's someone checking and posting a file from across America. Working, had you hit the power off button 3 times? This is why I tell you, Microsoft needs to be dismantled. And yes, do those military children's burn unit checks of America's Lifelines. I'm literally going to have to unplug, because every damn morning I come out here and the damn thing's on. Check and post, do those military children's burn unit tests, and for Google and Microsoft. I think they're all the same. Bill just has multiple personalities, if you know what I mean. Why can't I reach Melton? When else will my family's lifeline be affected by what you're doing? They've broken a computer, actively taking part in America's hijacked lifelines. Post. No signal. That means it's all. And look at all this going on. Why Microsoft needs to be dismantled. 424-229-4140. Make a video of America's hijacked lifelines in front of Bill Gates when he's patting himself on the back. You do that military children's burn unit check and say this is what Bill Gates and Microsoft and Google are all about. Actively taking part in my child, our family's, America's hijacked lifelines. Get their reaction. They're handing out computers, they're donating stuff, they're building stuff. You get the truth out about Microsoft right then and there. Check and post and 5. You can't reach Melton. They're actively taking part in America's hijacked lifelines. Make the video, post the video. Come see me in person. the numbers of every California crooked cop on the backs of my files, so that all of America can call them on the one crime of them not knowing what a 93 check is. Look at that. That's corrupt California called the cops, altering my artwork. Called them on that crime so that, yeah, for the 1,000 crimes they commit hiding behind a badge that don't get. Being part of the Hussein placing being one of them. Check and post in 5-424-229-4140 via speakerphone. They don't know what a 93 check is. You direct them to Semper Fi, aim high, fly, fight, win. Direct them to ChristComplexLinks.blogspot.com and ask them, are you involved or are you incompetent? Not knowing what one is. So we are at a fictional bank robbery. And the bank president is standing near the teller, and the teller's reaching underneath the counter to hit the button, and the bank president says, "No, no, don't do that, Judy." And he explains, you know, once the bank robbers have left, the cops, they get here. This is California. They're going to take more money than the bank robbers, and we got, you know, insurance for the bank robbers. I'm Melton, so I'm Carpenter. Put on the backs of fives these fives, those 404x6 print. There's the big ones. On the backs, put California's cops number and ask them, what do you know about me not reaching John Melton Brady? 424-229-4140. So Jim is having lunch with his ex-wife, Jill. Jim's a corrupt, cowardly California cop, and he says, why do you have to talk to me in person? That's why I send that alimony check to you. And she says, we got to do something about that. I know you make a whole lot of moonlighting money off the books. You know you make a whole lot of moonlighting money off the books, hitting those ATMs. That's why you don't complain about sending me the alimony. This son of a bitch in Eagle Rock, Melton, that's Stone Cold Melton, is telling everybody about all of that. And Jim just rolls his eyes. I'm Melton, check and post in 5. Hand these things out with California's cops' numbers on the backs. So a whole lot of generals are having a tactical meeting, and one of them has the big TV there to show everyone how he plans to do it. Well, they got 58 counties in California, and yeah, we just assign a state. Bigger states get 2 counties, and we relieve, it's so overwhelming, the corruption within California law enforcement, we relieve them. We file in, good cops from other states. And one of the other generals says, that seems kind of drastic. Why don't we just hand out these big fives of Stone Cold Meltons with their numbers, let them know America is watching first. So the police chief asked the detective, did you get the sketch from that tourist rape victim? And the detective says, oh yeah, it just like a few of those others, it's Jerry. Yeah, Officer Jerry. And the police chief says, oh, just bury it. And the detective says, well, we got a lot of cops and military coming in from all across America doing those things. Character things of California's crooked cops. And the police chief just grumbles and goes into his office. He'll have to see what he can do about that. I'm Melton, Stone Cold Melton, check and post in 5. All across America, California's crooked cops. Nancy walks into the room as a very irate Oscar is screaming at the phone. What business is it of yours what we do out here in California? You stupid son of a bitch. You can take your tourist dollars and, well, I won't repeat the rest. He hangs up, he slams that phone down, and Nancy says, oh, I didn't know you were a cop. And Oscar says, I'm not. It was a wrong number, but they sure got California's crooked, cowardly cops number right. I didn't want to disappoint them. That is what they're like. So he yelled and screamed into the receiver. I'm Melton, Stone Cold Melton. Checking Post and 5, hand out these big files with California's crooked cop numbers on the back so they can check and post and 5 via speakerphone. Carl and Celeste are on a date, and she said, ask him, what's wrong? And he says, it's my jerk dad. At least I got him back a little bit. I decided to show the world that side of him that I see yelling and screaming at me every 2 seconds instead of the side he presents to the world. What happened? Oh, yes, someone called up to check and post in 5 via speakerphone with Dad the cop. So, I gave a more realistic version of Dad than what Dad usually presents on the phone. Yeah, he was home getting his wash done by his mom, and yeah, he sounds just like his dad. You know where the fun stuff ends. Check and post in 5 right to California crooked, cowardly cops numbers on the backs of these 5s so America can check and post with them. So Stan is the rookie California cowardly crooked cop, corrupt cop. And he says, there go the bad guys, we got to go after the bad guys. And Ollie's the veteran. He says, no, wait. They're going to get away. No, wait. And yeah, after they going down the street from the bank after they just robbed, they go after him. And yeah, a week later, the bank president's talking to another bank president and said, you wouldn't believe it. Some bitch said, well, we know they stole $2 million. Here's $1 million back. They must have thrown, the bad guys must have thrown out the cash somewhere. We don't know what happened to it. Yeah, he called them the bad guys, and he's lying to me like that straight to the face. We all know what California corrupt the cops are about. Check and post and 5. Put their numbers on the backs of these 5. Joe is talking to Warren, the California Highway Patrol Chief Commissioner, and he says this guy Tony's been making a lot of noise about exposing corrupt California state troopers, got documentaries on the take, that kind of stuff. And yes, Warren smiles and he says, well, you know what that means. Accidental, unarmed police shooting. I'm Melton. Put the names of California state troopers to a man to a woman on the backs of these 5s. Conducting harassment techniques at Teague Terrace tonight. Always in the way of your phone working properly, your lifeline. Check and post in 5 with them. Alonzo, a California corrupt cowardly cop, knocks on Jessica's door, and she opens and she sees it's a cop, and she tries to close real quick, and Alonzo kicks it in, and he said, Jerry said you were a fighter, and he rapes her. In between, one of the rapes, she picks up the phone and calls 911, and Alonzo picks up and says, I'll disregard that. It's Officer Alonzo. I'm Melton, son of Carpenter Murray, and they're conducting harassment techniques at Teague Terrace again, so we got to get back to the check and post in 5. Put California's corrupt cowardly cops and call me up. Try to, in front of them via speakerphone, 424-229-4140. What's your part in America's hijacked lifelines, you cowards? So Bianca goes to her friends, college students, and she puts the phone down, she hits the audio maker, hits the play. Her dad is a corrupt, cowardly California cop conducting harassment techniques this Sunday morning with loud, hateful music coming from, I believe it's Mormons today. But it's Mormons, Muslims, and all of that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, the African Muslim apartment director was below playing such hateful, loud noise to annoy neighbors intensely. She says this is where Dad is going to be shaking down ATMs. She put the audio maker in his office. They listen. They know when he's going to be there. They call him up. 424-229-4140. Call me up. See America's Hijacked Lifeline. Call him when he's at those ATMs, and they let him know they're watching. Bianca says to her college friends, yeah, I left the audio maker on my phone going, left it at home when I knew Dad would be home alone. Her dad's a corrupt California cowardly cop, and she found out that he's having an affair at a cheap hotel, motel, or whatever. And Frank says, well, that's too bad about the affair, cheating on your mom and all that, but at least we know when's the best time to check the posted by via speakerphone with him. And the next day they call up, and Charlie doesn't know a thing about Flight 93 checks. There was 9 years of me asking for them at ChristComplexLinks.blogspot.com. Check it out. And in the background, Trixie the hooker is saying, okay, the saddle you have on won't cost you extra, but yeah, if you want me to wear the pink cowboy hat, it's going to cost. So a California cowardly corrupt cop, Darnell, is talking to the jump piss team, Whizzer and Wiser. And he says, I don't know why they want me to take a piss test, but yeah, I may have had some drugs like 6 months ago, and it might still be in there. I don't want to chance it. And Whizzer says, oh, don't worry about it. We'll go in there and take the test for you, and yeah, don't worry about it. And he said, well, what kind of drugs were you accused of taking? And he said, oh, you won't believe this weed. And yeah, they kind of have to laugh a little bit because he got that funny little cigarette back behind his ear.